This is your daily market recap for Thursday, October 6th, 2022. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Thursday, October 6th, 2022. Hopefully you're having a great day. Another interesting day in the market. Kind of indifferent about today's action. Personally, want it down if it was going to rise into a jobs number trap. Talked about the bear trap previously at the lows. I mean, it's one of those things. You just gotta be patient. Not every day is going to work out in the same direction. So sorry about that. Paused, had a cough. At this point, just manage risk, be smart, be thoughtful. I mean, I really think a lot of people realize tech is lagging, commodities are leading. Said that was a dynamic that's changed as of the last couple of weeks for sure. It became very obvious at the lows from end of September. Well, now what? Let's see what happens. I mean, I personally have thought this, and I think a lot of people can see why. When you have a bear trap on the lows, the market's going to rally. And so it's rallying up to support. We're getting close. I mean, maybe close enough. I don't think so. I personally think we still can go higher. But just is what it is. I mean, I think a lot of people expect straight line moves every day. That's just not how it works. So on that note, let's get into it. Oh, alert. I'm going to open up the Discord room again. If you need a link, you've been studying, you've been following, you'd like to get in, just DM me on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, I don't know why you wouldn't be. It's, let me see if I can drag it into the screen. Come on, get in there. You can't miss me. Same logo, 20-year vet, all this stuff. 662 followers. Started this account about a year ago. Can't miss it. Anyway. Bitcoin. Wow. Really compressing under the trend line, huh? I've said, and I'll say it again, bullish has to do what? Has to take out the 25,000. Bearish 17. It could play chop for as long as it needs to. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. But there's time corrections and there's price corrections. If you know what that is, there is a video about it in the Back to Basics series that I have, educational series. Check it out. Might help here. What I mean by time correction is sometimes you drop quick. Time has to pass. There's both time and price correction. Sometimes you get both. At this point, Bitcoin to me, like gold, after the pop, kind of a dead money thing. We'll see what happens. Oil continues to rise. As we said, 76, first resistance. Still think it's going to 60s, but guess what? Said this, I don't know, a couple days ago. I mean, I would not be surprised if it gets up to the 90s, low 90s. Support equals resistance. That makes a lot of sense to me. Dollar make you holla. I've said this 1,000 times. I think long term it's going much higher because the Feds haven't pivoted yet. How much higher? I mean, ultimately you don't know. People love to ask me, what's the upside target? I don't know. You just don't know until what? Until it happens. You just don't know. Like trying to pick a target here. If you say the target's 31, well, I mean, what if doesn't even the move hasn't even really continued on that strong and it gets over? I mean, it could go to 32, 33, or 34. You don't know. Just as Livermore said, stocks can go higher than you think, they can go lower than you think when they're going down. At this point, I've said this about a dozen times. Just I think it's going to come back. I thought yesterday would be a little more bearish. The data today popped. I don't think you get a bottom until you retest at worst. 29s. Mid 29s, maybe low 29s. It's hard. It's hard to know anything for certain. You can't be the master of everything when it comes to trading. I tell that to people because then you're the master of nothing. I've watched the dollar. I personally think it typically has choppy bottoms. Extreme and even sideways. You know what I mean? At this point, the dollar does not help the bulls. But if you go look at the monthly, I've said this, it's got a pretty long wick. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it consolidates. Just like it did. Hold on. What month was it? Here you go. July. Choppy. Could it come back down? Do you see why? If it gets back down to 29.30s, I think it holds. Not really a lot to say about the dollar. It's just, I think we're in like these seasonal times where it's usually weaker and it's just going to chop. The VIX, nice little hold today. I mean, people were buying, and this is where I'm actually a little excited about being bullish for tomorrow's jobs number. Keep that in mind. Why? VIX closed at the high. People bought more insurance. I mean, the put-call ratios going into this up, the tides were insane. Everybody's bearish. I mean, this is a relief kind of rally in my opinion. Like when I say relief rally, meaning you don't always go down in a straight line, right? Please don't think that you're just gonna go all the way in a straight line, always lower, or always higher in an up move, down move, whatever you're talking about. Looks pretty clear. Like fill the gap, chopping. I mean this 20, like this 30-50 level. Where does this come from? Huh. Interesting. I mean, that pink line, sometimes I just draw stuff and it stays. Why it closed there. I mean, personally, the 8-day, I think it's the 8 days, my green one. Yeah, 8-day. 8-day support can be resistance. Notice how it's curling over. Is it resistance? We shall see. It's hard to know. Again, I mean, we're in a trader's market. Hence, more something's up, less you own. More something's down, you're shorting until the last move, which I think we're getting close. I've told folks over and over, if you so studied 2008, 2009 crash, this time of year you had a drop in the VIX and then a massive implosion. I think that's where we're going. Apologize for the sniffles, man. Allergies here. Weird allergies. I'm not from Colorado, so as soon as the leaves change color and things get like, I don't know, the different type of pollens going on, gives me the sniffs. The sniffles. Get the sniffles, guys. Get the sniffs. SPY. Nice pop-up. Consolidating. I mean, you really can't get bearish till it breaks below 372. 370. I don't know. Again, 3 days. Personally, I've said this many times over. I would like to see a bigger rally. I'd like to see the 20-day. I'd like to see the 380s before I even consider sniffing. Getting back on the sniffing. Sniffles. Sniffing shorts. Right? No sniffing shorts yet. So, anyway, that's kind of what I'm looking for. We'll see. It's really hard to know for sure, but it just seems logical. I mean, think about all the bearishness, social media, everyone's shorting every pop. Everyone now knows it's a bear market, which yours truly was saying, I think we're bear market starting here because the euphoria at the highs. And then we talked about the first drop. Everybody would say, just a pullback. Oh, it's just a correction. This third leg. Oh, it's just, yeah, it's a correction. So, anyway, we'll see. I don't have the answers, like, obviously. And when I say I don't have the answers, it's an intentional thing, right? Like, I don't know how to say this without being, in a way, trying to be thoughtful, right? Trying to be thoughtful. What? The market sometimes is not always easily predictable. I have this conversation daily with people, and they're like, this is going to happen, and this is going to do that, and that's going to do that, and this is going to do this, and this is going to do... No. I'm sorry. I don't know how to tell you this. So, anyway, we'll see what happens here. Just be thoughtful. Watch what happens here. I think we're going to get up to this 20-day. Maybe 390s. Keep it simple, all right? Let's roll into the Qs because, interesting, was not lagging today. Neither leading, but kind of flat, holding here at support around 280. This one's tough to know for sure. 20 days very compressed. I personally think, everybody's short. Bear trap, again, you look below and fail, bear trap, same thing. I mean, it just feels very logical to get up to the 290s. Maybe the 100-day is in play at that point. I don't know. I've said this and I've said it over and over. This October Feels scary, but also choppy until OPEX. I think next week is an up week, chop week, whatever, maybe. Maybe this week is the top. I don't know. It depends on how it happens tomorrow. But after that, OPEX. That's scary. I mean, I personally think right now at the moment, QQQ, I don't really have any interest in tech, but it could pop. Absolutely could pop. IWM, barely down today. Down a point. Doji gets over the 20-day. I mean, I still think it's going higher. We've talked. We've all talked. Maybe it's the 100-day. Maybe 180. Just keep in mind, if everyone's bearish at the lows and you start rallying, they have to be unwound before they go lower. Most times than not. Even if the unwind is just a small bounce, it's a chop and bounce, or it's just chop. I personally think some formation of that is happening. So, more you're up, less you own, trade around it. I think the best thing to do after this week, maybe next week, look for shorts. But you're going to need to see some spikes because we're going to get into some names that I think are going to show that spikeability, if that's an actual word. GLD. Hit our upside targets, backed off. I mean, it could go higher. I mean, this is the thing. I've said commodities are leading. Could gold rally? That's right. It could. Is it going to go do the little over the 50-day kind of game here? We're going to play a little tag football over the 50? I don't know. Maybe here it is. I mean, 161, 163. Not trading it. I'm out of all this stuff. Silver, nice little blow off. Goodbye. GDXJ said if you get up near 32 and you didn't take profits on this day, shame on you. Talked about all we expected was 26 to 31.32. Oh, it got up to 32.30. You idiot, Dan. You called it so badly. You bought it right here and you added on this day. You idiot. You clown. You absolute clown. It's terrible. Anyway, held the 50-day. Holding the 50-day. I mean, could it rally up to the hundo? I mean, I don't know. Either way, please do not, and please do not marry any trade. We're trading. That's all we're doing is trading. All we're doing is trading, okay? Trading. Oh, look at that. AMD guides down after hours. Oops. Tech sucks. Anyway. Too funny. We'll talk about AMD shortly. We'll see what happens, too. Held the 50-day. GDX. I don't know, man. I don't like the large cap miners. Because when gold starts to move, you don't want to own the big dogs. You want to own the little ones. And I told you guys and gals, best time to buy miners when the Fed pivots. Now I know it can bounce. We all know that. But just don't trust it, okay? Don't trust the bounce. It's been doing this for months. We haven't capitulated. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's just so silly. AG said 8 9s. Here it comes. Could it get up to 9 plus? Looks okay. AEM. Again, looks like this stuff is leading the market, right? This is the one that I want to buy. This is what I want to buy. Come back down. Look at the volume. Look at the retest. See it in the 30s. Now, I've showed you guys a million times. The best time to buy this stuff is what? The Fed pivots capitulation. Because I still don't think people realize, like, even Newmont. Like, check this out. I love showing this because it makes you realize anything's possible. Look at in 2008. Gold was holding up pretty well. Boom. Newmont went from 54 down to 21. Made no sense. But that's what it does. Like, that's what they're going to do here. PAAS. If you didn't buy it at the lows, I don't know. It does this little game where it plays over it. We'll see what happens. Honestly, 50-day, I mean, it's not a bad move. 14 to 17. Leave it alone. All right. Speaking of the AM Dizzle, let's check this out because after hours, it looks like they are, oh, I can see it. Dive. All right. 62. It's got to hold 62. We'll see what happens now. This is the thing, though. I don't know. Obviously, this video will be over. Take notes. When this thing guides down, watch what happens when it retests this 62 area, okay? Okay? I know you can't see. I'm looking at another screen, but just trust me, okay? If it gets back down to the 62s, which it is, it got there for a hot second after hours. If we bounce, it could play a game, right? It could actually help what? It could help the market rally back. Now, again, bearish news that doesn't get taken bearishly, if that's a word again, bearishly, I don't know, whatever. I'm not a I'm not a literary English major. I'm more of a math person. Keep an eye on that, because that to me, it gets real interesting. If you guide down and then it pops, NVIDIA, I mean, they've guided down 1 billion times. Holding up. SMH, shma. I mean, I'm still amazed how people are like, oh, I'm up on Soxel, I'm back to even. I'm like, take the money. Get out of tech, it's lagging. Leave it alone. Well, here comes more bad news from tech. Who's not surprised? AMD guides down. Who's next? Apple? I don't know. Who knows? Oh, man, people are asking on the Discord. Are we buying Soxes tomorrow on this new? No. You don't chase. I still think it'll chop. I don't know where let me look after hours. SMH is at 198. Not that bad. I mean, I'm not saying it's going up to the 220s, but I think it holds. I think it holds and chops. You know? That's all I can say. Because if you think, this is the hardest thing about trading, again, like we have to talk about what are the probabilities and the mindsets, right? If the market has a rising tendency, you have to acknowledge it. And that's the kind of thing that happens, is you guide down and it holds. Now, again, it probably fails later. Like, nobody doubt that, please. Please don't doubt that. Like, it could get dumped later. But if the market is rising, it could pull it up. Okay? Good old fruit. Apple. I want some apple slices. Still think it gets up to 155. I mean, held shoulder line. Look at this. I mean, it's like a perfect storm. Like, come into the 150s. Then you short it. If it doesn't, just wait. I'm telling you, wait. It's so hard to be patient. Amazon comes up in the 100-day cross. I mean, I still think you get up to 126, 127. Prime Day is coming, right? There's another Prime Day. It's like Prime Day every week. Prime Day, no. But here's the point, though, right? If you're looking at the chart, gapped up and sideways, not technically bearish, not as bad as the other tech that's at the lows, right? So, hold on. If you didn't take your gains, I'm talking in the Discord room. If you held Soxel and didn't take gains, what the fuck? What the fudge? Seriously. AM's, it's tough to know. This is the thing. Like, I've just given up on tech. And a lot of people are like, really? Just, you have to pivot. Like, the evidence is not there for the stuff to be bullish. And now, again, if a rising tide lifts all boats, maybe the market holds up. The things that are making new lows, I mean, this CRM is the exception with the software. I mean, they're back over the new lows, but it is getting stuck here. Watch what happens. Goog made new lows. Needs to really get back over 105. That's how I look at it. Meta, piece of junk. Absolute junk. Going nowhere. Just leave it alone. Microsoft popped to 250 from the 230s. Not bad. Holding over the 20-day? Nah. It looks better getting back over this zone, but I just hope people, like I said, when we get into commodities charts, they're like, wow, those look a lot better. And it's like, is it not that obvious? Is it not so obvious? It is. NDAQ, really want to see it get up 63 to 61. Then we'll short it. I don't even know what to say. MicroStrategy, again, I mean, this thing should be down doji, high and tight, not even anywhere close to the June lows. This is where you have to acknowledge evidence for what it is. Like, people say, hey, Dan, you're flipping, you're flopping, you're changing your mind. No, we're trying to do what the market's going to do. And sometimes the evidence changes. And we know the market makers try to what? Get you to do the wrong things all the time, right? You don't know. You know? And so this is where the thing, it's like, all right, well, there's a lot of bullish looking stuff. Now, again, leadership has changed. People are still looking at tech for leadership. That's the problem. We're about to get out of tech and look at the real leaders, but we'll see. Look at this stuff. I mean, I still think you get up to 270. I mean, it makes sense. Netflix, nowhere near the June lows. High and tight. Maybe it's about to bust up through 250 area. Maybe it could be a bear trap. Just pop up. You know? Because could it get into the gap? Always. Get into the gap. Get into the... You know what I mean. That's possible. Roblox. Looks like it, tech, another name. Not nowhere near the lows. Double little bottom here. Little double bottom. Double bottom. Here you go. Bounce. Again, looks like a W. Looks like it's going to resolve higher. Tech is crap, right? Some of it, Tesla. I mean, I thought it would hold 240. It's just dead. I mean, again, everybody, this is the problem with tech. Everybody overowns it. And now there's no momentum. And now earnings are going to slow dramatically. And they're never going to be what they were once at the highs. Their growth rates, right? Like the law of large numbers does not allow for such movement. I hope this makes sense, right? It just doesn't. The law of large numbers. End of story. Does not allow it. Can't sustain high growth rates forever. Point being is what? Tesla's dead. I mean, any bounce should be sold. I mean, I still have my Tesla Q and my long-term puts on it. I'm not touching this. I honestly think it's the biggest donkey. I've said this over and over, and whether you like Elon, it doesn't matter. The stock, we talked about this being the blow-off end of end moves. Now you're going to see an end of end move down later. I'm telling you. Pretty obvious. Now it's dead money. It's not going anywhere, and people keep buying the dip, and it just makes lower high, lower high, lower high. But they're going to keep buying it. Again, I mean, it's crazy because I love showing this candle on the monthly. Look at this. For a long time, people didn't buy Tesla because they said, it's a junky company. They don't really make money. They live off of tax credits. One candle changed it all. This one changed everything. It literally became the rallying cry forever. Trash. Absolute trash. X. Let's start moving through these because these are the ones that, I mean, again... We talked about this. Making higher lows. Again, commodities. Who wins the bear? I mean, look at this. Looks way better than tech. Now I know people will say, it's near the... But hey, come on. Give me a break here. This thing is holding up. It's not like smashing down the new lows. Said it could hit the 20-day from the 18 level. Still think it hit 22s if the market rallies more. New core. Another one. Held the 104. What, at 105 area? Oh, 103, 10. Ooh. So the 20-day could probably come back up to 200. They even guided down, and look how this, I mean, nowhere near lows. Just chopping. I've said this, ultimately, this is how you can tell who the next leaders of the bull market are going to be because they get bought. They don't make new lows. They don't make lower lows in a bear market. They try to hold up. VALE. Same thing. Nice little move. Touches the gap. Boom. Touch the gap. That's kind of awkward. 12 to 15. I didn't say that. Fill the gap. Try to fill the gap. I mean, that could be taken incorrectly too. Whatever. Keep your mind out of the gutter. If you're listening to this, I get comments. People laugh. I make jokes. Ha ha. Hee hee. I mean, look at this thing. It's up near the 100-day. Doesn't look bearish to me, y'all. Arrow. Copper up the 200-day. Holding trend. We talked about it. Hey, little trendy. Little trendy. Little trendy line. Let's actually do this. Sometimes I like to what's called duplicate or clone the angle and see what happens. Not too bad. Not too shabby. We'll see what happens. Could get a little higher, obviously. Holding up. CCJ, even uranium. Nowhere near the lows. Do y'all see this reoccurring pattern? Because you're going to see it in oil names too. Oh my MG. OMG, whatever. Still think it goes lower. Again, remember, commodities are going to get hit. When the next leg of the market, let me clarify, when the next leg of the down market comes, these will get slammed. If the VIX goes to 60 to 80 to 100, whatever, they will get slammed, but they will act better. They will not be making new lows and then dying on a buying. They will probably bounce back. Mosaic called this one, said you could buy it down here. Nice little bounce. Needs to get over the 20-day. I mean, the problem with Mosaic is I don't like it has all this resistance. How's all these moving averages? It just doesn't look as good as, say, CF, which we talked about. You could buy that. Nice hold of the 100-day. Held the 50-day. Nice. Didn't close above 106, but we'll see. I mean, acting bullish, like nowhere near the lows. You see in this third, like, again, money rotates. It doesn't die. NTR, I mean, just throwing these in there for fun. Holding. All right, let's get into, I mean, let me just bounce around. XBI and financials. XBI doesn't look that bearish. Nowhere near the lows. Nice little bounce. Even thwarted the end of the quarter drop to not even things that don't look bearish to me. I mean, I'm just saying this. People don't listen. They just go, oh, I think the world's ending. I read the news. My friend Eno over here posting all of the worst news out there ever. Doesn't seem to matter. Remember that rail strike? Didn't matter. Ukraine gonna get nuked by Russia? Not happening. Like, you gotta be careful what you read, folks. Love you guys, but you know how it is. Holding the lows. Again, financials are important, obviously. Holding the lows. Holding the gap. We'll see. Morgan Stanley. That doesn't look as bullish. We'll see what happens when it fills the gap. JP Morgan, this thing has no buyback. Their company's junk. Filling the gap. We'll see. Let's get into solar, because it is by far my favorite long-term short. Good old First Solar. Added some shorting today. It bounced up into my blue zone. I mean, draw these for yourself. I think you could still hold in high and tight. Any short up, any pop up to here, I'm adding. Now that we had the blow off, remember I expected that for the first of the month. New money coming in. Rode this thing higher. Any pop. The higher the pop, the better. Higher the pop, the better. Sedge, this thing is absolute junk, man. Lower lows, awesome. ENPH, it feels better because it's making an inside day. It filled the gap. Mind the gap. Please mind the gap. Fill the gap. Probably going to bounce. Be safe. And tan. I bought a little tan today. Around the 200-day. Closed a little lower. I mean, again, it probably plays this game where I think you can see what I'm thinking here. Maybe you can. Take a moment, draw how you think I might draw it. Let me just really draw it like this, because it's this. Like this being here. You can see here, here, here. Maybe even to here. I mean, 70s. It's due to bounce. It is due to bounce. 200-day. Now everyone's like, oh, it's about to break down. But look at the volume. It's not really increasing. It's probably going to bounce. Like, it played this game on when it was, remember, when it was resistance. 1, 2, 3, then 4. 1, 2. We got a few more times, y'all. We got a few more times. All right. Let's end it on oil, because this is where I love people who just go, the market's about to crash. I'm like, well, what do we say? Oil could go higher. I don't know what 92 or 93 is on the USO. It'll probably be this trend line here at 74. Things that don't look bearish, right? Making higher highs. Nat gas. I see you, bro. I see what you're doing. Some people are saying, hey, this is bearish. I'm like, to me, it seems obviously bullish as crap. Near term. Now, I'm not saying we're going back to new highs tomorrow. Bear trap under the 200-day. Popped. Bear trap under the 200-day. Now holding resistance. I've said 26s, maybe 27s. If you're playing Boyle and short and KOLD, awesome. I mean, it's really pretty simple. I mean, you can see what you want here, but I see stopping power and a bounce back. That's what I see. ExxonMobil, things that aren't bearish. I've said this now, and still feel bad for the clear burn. I had to ban you, dude. You just broke all the rules. You posted a trade, you talked about it, then you didn't post the charts, and then you disappeared. To only talk about it after saying shorting at 88, 87, 89, whatever. Then you're like, oh, I covered at 92. What? Then it was at 99. You didn't let anyone know. I don't like that. I mean, be in the Discord room. Be honest. I lose. You lose. We all lose. Make mistakes. Don't pick and cherry pick your wins against your losses, all right? I hate that. That drives me nuts. Because you're not an honest person then. You're just trying to act like you never lose. which I've told you the reason why I am who I am is because I've lost a ton. I've been, sharpened steel through the heat of losing, whatever you want to call it. Blades, sharpen. Back to ExxonMobil. At this point, I think we're making new highs. I mean, just like first solar, like it probably makes a new high. Like this is like the first solar of oil. Probably has to go a little higher, then it'll fail. People they're really quick to jump in on this. XOP, people are like, oh, you said short at 135. I did. And guess what? I didn't. Because I saw the other actions, like it doesn't look that bad. Because we got over it and closed. Like we got it and retested it. Watch the mid 140s, y'all. Maybe even 150. I don't know. We don't know. It's really hard. You can start layering. That's why we talk about layering in, layering out. Let's end it with our friend EQT. Because this is one of my biggest longs. We talked about buying it because of the money that was coming into it because of the mid-cap ETF rollover. Remember, nowhere near the lows. This is acting strong. Does it go back to 50? I don't know. I still think it gets to 47, 48. That's all I'm looking for. I can leverage that. Now you close below 44s, which isn't ideal. But check this out. Like I really love when stocks do this. And they show you at the end of the day who they really are. Check this out, y'all. Pulls back all day. The volume's crap. Last hour. Look at this. Last 10 minutes. Sorry. Somebody was buying. And it wasn't yours truly. I mean, I've already got my positions. Be safe out there. I mean, I really think, again, the best short is solar, but you gotta let it bounce. You just cannot, in a trader's market, until the market implodes, people go, oh, you go, I mean, again, I'm going to make fun of these people. I don't care. Solomon, you're like, oh, you always have to short. Stay with the primary trend. It's like, dude, I've said this 1,000 times. And dude, meaning anyone in this world who's listening. In bear markets, you get these awesome rallies. Then you short more. Oh, you should only be shorting. Wrong. Because look at this. I mean, you got wiped out. You shorted, you got wiped out. You got wiped out. I'm telling you, they do not make it easy until the last leg. And that last leg is the bottom. And usually what? Minimum 3 legs. 1 leg, 2 leg, start of the 3rd leg. And now again, maybe they make this leg tricky. I'd prefer it because, again, the best market moves are what? When everyone's out of position. Bring the bulls back in control. Let them scream the loudest like they're winning. That would be awesome. Okay, I'm done. Hit me up again. Discord room officially will be back open. I will send out links to people who ask. I'm not giving this away. There's a lot of great content in here in the Discord room. People know it. I mean, a lot of people are hating me for even letting people back in. But again, I think when the student's ready, the teacher appears. There's going to be people that need help, and I want to help them. I don't want to help the people just like, oh, just tell me the answer. No, I want the people who need like guidance, because that's what I needed. It wasn't that I didn't know how to trade. I needed guidance. Like, what are things that you should and shouldn't do? What are things that help you mitigate losses? How do you trade in and out? How do you layer in? How do you manage your options? Those are the things we talk about in here. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, your PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.